Welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Jacob. Today we got a good episode for you. I say that every week, but it's true. I can't help it sometimes to say that. But before we get to our guest this week, I want to tell you about the podcast. You can find the podcast on Facebook, facebook.com/conversations with Jacob podcast, Twitter, CWJ podcast. I think that's what it is. And don't hold me to it. Podcasts and platforms, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Audible, TuneIn, Pandora. We're also on YouTube. If you got a question, guest suggestion, you can email conversationswithjacob@gmail.com. Our website, conversationswithjacobpodcast.weebly.com. Upcoming guests, past guests, and so much more on there. So check us out. On the website. Joining me today is Shawn Harper. He's a former NFL player, played for the Rams, Colts, the Titans, the NFL for Europe, and he's been on MTV's Made. He's active in the church. He's a family man, he's a speaker, and he's the author of the book, The Winning Edge. And Shawn, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you for having me. Let's have fun. Let's go and let's win.
Yeah, let's win. That's absolutely. Now, for people who don't know nothing about you, for people that haven't heard your name or nothing, and what can you tell them about yourself?
So, as you mentioned, I played about 7 years professional football with various teams over in NFL Europe as well. Yeah, I'm a motivational speaker, a business owner, married to an amazing woman for about 24 years. I have a great son, great family. It's been an absolute blessing. That's the story, or that's the glory. The actual story behind that is that just about everything in my life leading up to certain moments was what basically had me on a separate trajectory. Like, for instance, I had to repeat the first grade. I was documented with 4 to 5 learning disabilities, kicked out of schools, several schools for disciplinary issues, left high school with a 1.62 cumulative GPA, not on my ACT, voted most likely to fail. Horrible in football. I mean, I was just at the bottom of the barrel. I don't know if any of your listeners can just relate to seeing greatness and knowing that it's not in you or not around you. I'll correct that later. And you see it in other people, and you're saying, you know what, that'll never happen for me. That's good for that person, but it's not good for me. And I go off to a junior college, a 2-year school in Iowa. And the first year at that junior college, I sit the bench the entire season, basically not one play. And I almost gave up. At that moment, I just about gave up. And I had a conversation with my mom about, quitting and coming home, and she encouraged me to stay. And then I had a change. I had what's called a paradigm that changed my life. And the conversation went like this. I said, you know what? I can't be successful. I don't have what it takes to be successful. I said, but I can win. And the moment I said I can win, I begin to see obstacles as opportunities. Because, because it doesn't matter what team you're playing. If they're, an amazing team, you're still going to play the game to win. You're still going to shoot your best shot. So I said, you know what? I'm going to see obstacles as opportunities, and I'm going to play to win. And you know what? It worked. I went from sitting on the bench to next year being in the Junior College Hall of Fame. Draft day in the NFL, I'm 3rd pick in the 4th round. We backed up, got a full ride to Indiana University. I blocked for a Heisman candidate. I had an amazing career in college, in NFL. I bounced around some teams, had some injuries, but I had just awesome. And I took that same concept, methodology, and strategy, and I applied it to corporate America. I've been in business for over 20 years. I've been married for 24 years, and I use a winning model versus a success model. So one of my statements, I have a lot of statements, but one of my statements is that if life is a game, you play the game to win.
All right. Now, going back to your NFL days, is that something that you always wanted to do, or did it just come from, pop up, did it just pop out of nowhere?
Well, yes and no. When I was younger, I've always wanted, I say, I want to play, everybody wants to play professional football when they're younger, right? Then as I got older, I kind of succumbed or to basically to succumb to, just the reality of life. Like, you're never going to play. I kind of gave up on that dream. But I when I was at junior college, moving into the second year, I kind of rekindled that dream, and I said, NFL, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. And I wrote it down, and I locked in, and I began to triangulate my life off that goal, playing professional football.
Now you play. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Of course, you play for the Rams, the Colts, the Titans. Out of all those teams, did you have a favorite that you like playing for?
Rams is, every NFL organization is awesome for amazing things.
Yeah.
Like I love the actual Colts because it was in close proximity to where I went to college at. I would hang out, and, but the Rams, I really had a great time. It was my first team. And also because of the fact that I believe that the Rams organization, they really love their offensive linemen. They really give an actual premium and a lot of respect to their O linemen.
Do you still watch? Do you still watch football today?
I like to watch more college football because there's just a sense a small slither of purity left. These guys want to play. They're out there because they want to play the game. So I like college. I don't watch professional as much.
Now, can you tell us what the word? What is winning?
What was that?
What is winning, and how can we win?
Yeah. So well, you can't be what you are. You are actually born a winner. You have to discover the winner, but you can't be what you already are. So I start macros. Let me go micro. The reason why we love sports, the reason why we love gambling and video games is because it's predicated around winning, and the main drive in that is that we are actually born winners. We are one of 90 million sperm cells that fertilize the egg, right? So we were the one that got to the egg. So that is why we love winning so much. And to be able to tap into that or discover that or realize that when you pull from that self-concept of that of a winner, then you know what? Things work in your favor because you're moving in agreement, spirit, soul, and body.
Now, for the people that's listening that has trouble with money, of course, do you think money comes and go, and does that play into I guess the winning category?
No,
No.
no. It's winning for me is the fullest expression of who you are physically, spiritually, emotionally, yes, financially. Health-wise, and legacy is pushing yourself past yourself in every one of those categories. I know winners who don't have a lot of money. I just spoke to about 150 principals, school administrators. Those guys are winners. They might not be, 7-8 figures, but to get that type of fulfillment is huge. It's unstoppable. Yeah.
Now, and how can we achieve our dreams? And also, if we got something, I guess, in our head, like a dream, should we follow that dream?
So you can pursue the dream, but it's really awesome when the dream pursues you, right?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is that once you lock into the fact that you are a winner and you repair your self-esteem and self-concept, then once you begin to move towards your dreams, then your dreams will also move towards you. Sometimes we don't recognize the doors and the opportunities that gets us in trouble. It's like, you know what? I want to go up the street, but the opportunity to make a left turn opens up, and like, what is that? Sometimes you need to pursue those opportunities because it's leading you to your dream. We don't know where the doors are. You know, one of the uh, what I think is one of the toughest things is discerning opportunities. Is this a good opportunity for me, or is this a bad opportunity? You don't know. So I say yes a lot. I say yes a lot.
Should people say yes or not that's listening to this podcast?
Yeah, I would. I would. I would open up opportunities like that. There's because like I mentioned earlier, you never know where the doors are. I mean, I did a speaking engagement a couple years back where I flew myself to the engagement. I paid for my hotel room and I spoke. Like I said, yes. You don't have no money, do this. I said, you know what, I'll do it. And it was probably one of the greatest blessings in the last 10 years of my life. I got free vacations, I've been out the country, and it's just compounding. So yeah, learn how to say yes and open up the opportunities.
And how can we get past well, I guess failure? If we fail, and how can we move past that?
You have to rebrand it. It's not failure. It's not failure. It's tuition.
All right.
Hold on for a second. Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's like you experience a setback, you analyze the setback, you learn from the setback, and now instead of it being failure, it becomes tuition because it moves you one step closer to your goal. You know, when you see professional football players out there playing, but I tell you what, they practice all week till they get it right. So that's the tuition during the week, and having that practice. Same is in life. Failure is your friend. Embrace it, grow from it, and move past it.
Now, and how can we win at life and also in a business point?
How can you win at life and in
Business.
business? Well, winners, one of the ways that you win in life and in business also is that you push yourself into what I call the 212. What I mean by that is that water is water at 211 degrees. And at 212 degrees, water boils. Well, boiling water 1 degree more has changed the world. Most people live in the 210 or the 211. You got to push yourself into the 212. Push yourself into the 212 and live there. Go above and beyond. Hire coaches, hire people to challenge you and to push you past you into a whole new level of greatness.
Now, there's people, I ain't gonna need no names, but there's people, well, I call them haters, I guess, for people and who don't believe uh, that we can do all this stuff. Um, and how can we prove those haters wrong?
That's probably one of the worst traps that you can fall into. I'm not living for your approval.
Yeah.
Hate on me if you want to. I'm gonna win. But let me tell you something though. Sometimes you need haters in your life because a hater will often tell you a slither of truth and a very important truth more than your friends will. So you don't hear the hater, but you listen to the hater. Listen to their critiques because there might be some truth in there for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, and how can we go through life when it gets tough? Because of course, and we face some tackling challenges in life, and things don't go the way that we think they would go. And how can we get through that? And yeah, and how can we get through that?
Um, you get through it. Oftentimes, in order to get to, you have to go through. Uh, Life is tough. And I believe one of the dangers of media, especially social media, is that no one talks about how tough life is.
Right.
And so we're looking around like, man, I am like depressed, I'm angry, I'm upset. This is going on, that's going on, and this person's doing okay, that person's doing okay, until they're not. Like, wow, they just like, they just did this or they just did that. Everyone's going through. But the thing about winners is that winners tend to look at what they're going to, not what they're going through. Always
Absolutely.
stay focused on where you're
Now,
going.
now you call yourself a winologist, if I
Yeah,
pronounced that right.
the
Uh,
winologist. Yeah.
yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Um, it's the study of winners. I study winners. I study what makes them different, what sets them apart. I study the best of the best, the creme de la creme, and then I share that knowledge because winners do things different.
Now, when you say that you study winners, people that's listening might get like the wrong impression. Well, if he studies winners, then, does that make, I guess, me a loser? So can you define that? Does, like if somebody gets the wrong impression of hearing that, and how can you explain that more to them?
Okay, so just because someone's winning doesn't mean that you're losing.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two is when you there there is a difference between someone who's successful and someone who's winning. When someone is pushing themselves to the highest expression of who they are, that person is a winner. And I tend to watch these individuals and try to uncover and discover what makes them different, what makes their actual approach different. So let me give you an example. Everyone's had this big controversy about Mr. Deion Sanders. Mr. Deion Sanders is a marketing genius. All he's doing is just marketing. He's doing marketing and branding, and he's pulling all the attention from almost every other major school in the NCAA. Whether he wins or loses, that is marketing. He's winning right now. He's winning because uh, you look at the actual Boulder, Colorado has never had that much attention. Never had that much attention. So yeah, he's winning, and I'm taking notes. Like, okay, maybe like and you watch like American Idol. Remember that years ago, American Idol. Remember Simon? You know, he he was not afraid to look bad. He wasn't afraid to be rejected. Because he understood that's marketing. And I'm taking a second look at that myself. So I study that. That's a winner to me.
So are you saying that you're like I mean, you're like a Simon Cowell of winning?
No, I'm not. I'm not like a Simon Cowell. I just like to study what he did.
Yeah.
Like 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 he would say some crazy, outlandish things. He was brutally honest. And when he left, that show went down.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. um, for,
So
for
so what I want to do is I want to analyze that. Like why was his presence, why was people so angry at him, but why was his presence so important for the success of that show?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, for people that's listening, and how can we make sure, or and how can we make our legacy kind of cast kind of be out there? Well, basically, the question is on how to make our legacy better, I guess.
How to make your legacy better is focusing on it now, in the now. Like my son, he's going to come home tomorrow, right? And we love to get on the grill and we love to barbecue. That's building a legacy. Taking time away from work and focusing on, hey, you know what? Let me encourage you. You are my legacy. building it now. You're building it every day. Every day you're building your legacy.
Absolutely. Now, for people that's listening, and where can they find you on the internet?
Yeah. Oh, simple. It's Shawn Harper Wins. That's Shawn with a W. Shawn Harper Wins. And or Instagram, it's Shawn Harper Speaker. And on Twitter, it's Shawn Harper 75.
All right, absolutely. Now, since you go out and speak at these places, and how often do you travel?
It's seasonal. Probably travel about 4 or 5 times a month.
Oh, wow. All right. Um, is there a place where people could get your book?
Yeah, you can order the Winning Edge off of Amazon.
All right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And is the book uh, can you tell us what the book's about?
Basically, is what I pulled down, off the all the people that I've studied. There's some tactics and strategies that I've witnessed and I've learned. So I kind of wrote those down, and I pulled out what I think is the top 8, and I put it in the book.
How about that? Now at the end of every episode, I like to ask the guest for a closing thought. Some says yes, some says no, and some don't have any. So I was going to ask you, and you got a closing thought?
Yeah, it's wow. So in our COVID environment, pre-COVID, post-COVID, whatever, uh, you need you need a different type of strength. Typically we are taught to make a stand, but sometimes you have to withstand. You have to withstand an onslaught. So when I played football, we would run block. It's a certain type of strength, and then we pass protect. We have to withstand the actual advances of the defensive tackle. So you stand and then you withstand. In our country, I don't think that we had to withstand a lot. So we have to work on developing our our drive and our grit and our fortitude to not only stand but to withstand. And you will get knocked down. You will be disappointed. But when you get knocked down, if you can look up, you can get up, play to win.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think that's the best one I've heard basically all year long. With that, with that closing thought right there. With Shawn, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast to talk about winning, which I enjoy it. I kind of ran out of questions, but usually I'm prepared for this kind of stuff, but I ran out of questions, and kind of I kind of hated that. So Shawn, thank you once again for coming on the podcast.
Hey, thank you. Be blessed. And if life is a game, play to win.
All right, absolutely. Well, that's it for this episode of Conversations with Jacob. Tune in next week for another interview. Until then, be safe. God bless, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Cool.